We're looking at a daily chart of the Nasdaq, and I'm going to be brief today because I have an appointment that I forgot about. Anyway, the Nasdaq is making higher lows and higher highs. We talked about this bottoming process here. How it bottomed in October, then retested in December, had this nice rally in January, 50% retracement, and now it's just storming higher. It's a little bit more extended than you would think here. Is it on last week was this Friday? It was 2.9% above the 10 EMA and 4.3% above the 21. And then on Tuesday it is 4.2 above the 21, and now today it's 4.1. So it's getting comfortable being, more than 4% above the 21 EMA. And hey, if it wants to trend that way, I mean, who are we to argue, right? I'm just looking for it to get above this 13,181 as the next the next hurdle, the next milestone, right here, 13,181. And we'll see if it can do that here. It's only 81 points away. And based on the earnings tonight, we may get there tomorrow. I'm going to get into that a little later, but I wanted to take a look at everyone's favorite is NVIDIA. Stormed higher after earnings, pulled back one day, and then is now approaching 400 again. So just, gosh, you would hope to see these moving averages catch up just a little bit, but obviously this stock is in demand. People want to own it, people want to buy it, and not people, but institutions, and that's what they're doing. MRVL, this one gapped higher after earnings, pulled back for 2 days, and then today had a nice bullish inside day there. So MRVL looks good. Advanced Micro, AMD, just, I bought this one, way back under 90, and I'm happy with it being here at 120. But if it wants to go higher, great. If it wants to pull back to the 10, or even the 21 and find support, that's great too. What I don't want it to do is to come back to its base here, around the 105 area. But I'll be watching that one. Broadcom, they reported this afternoon, pretty much a muted response. They beat, on the top and bottom line. So it's just flat after hours. That was kind of expected. This move here, it looks like an earnings beat anyway. And now it's just kind of allowing the moving averages to catch up. I could go through a lot of semiconductors, but like I said, I'm kind of pressed for time today. I do want to get to some of the retail stocks because retail is a mixed bag here. There's very few stocks that are doing well. Most of them are getting hammered. This is ELF Beauty. This is one that bounced off the 50, and I've talked about this a lot. A prior uptrend, then a pullback to a moving average where it finds support. We're seeing a lot of this lately. Might get support at the 10, which is a green line, or the 21, which is the magenta or pink line, and then the 50, which is this red line here, is where Celsius found support. And I want to talk about that a little bit later, but I also want to get to Lululemon. This stock has just been hammered down to its 200, but tonight they reported earnings and it's up over 11%. So it's going to get back to this 365 area, which is right about in here, 365, 370. So we'll see. See a nice little gap up to here tomorrow. So congrats to Lulu Long. I mean, it's been slaughtered like a lot of retail. Well, some of them deserve to be slaughtered. There's Macy's. They, this has been in a free fall. They reported earnings today and just like a mercy buying, probably some short covering here. They've had such a great time. And it was up slightly today. Dollar General, another one with just a terrible earnings report, was down nearly 20%. You could see that gap lower. Foot Locker is another one that just had a terrible report and has fallen on hard times. You're well below the 200, just in a complete downtrend. You could see all this massive pink volume selling. So anyway, I said I was going to take a look at some of these stocks that are bouncing off moving averages, and this is why I pay attention to moving averages. Everybody has their own strategy, their own style. I suggest that you get one if you don't have one. I like buying stocks off of moving averages after, a trend higher. This is obviously a nice move higher. It pulled back after a strong earnings report to the 21. And this coincided with that old buy point that we had there at 140. So it was a perfect mix, to just get a little long there on CrowdStrike. It did, if you look at the day's session, it pulled back to 142. And then, romped higher on good volume. and close at 87% of the daily range, so the top quartile of its daily range, which is, you know, positive for CrowdStrike going forward. I did mention CELH, which bounced off of its, pulled out back to the 21 and bounced today nicely, 6%. That was on our watch list this morning, or our ready list, I should say. AEHR, another one of these semiconductor stocks, traded back down through its 50 to its 200, rallied back above it, and then pulled back here. The last couple of days, it pulled back. Let me get this line here. Once it went above the 50, it pulled back. See that right there? An uptrend, then a pullback to a moving average. Then, you know, another little gap up, and then pull back to the 10. And now today it ripped higher. So you got to watch the pullbacks to moving averages. They're being rewarded here on quality, strong stocks, not all stocks. It's a stock picker's market. A lot of stocks are getting hammered. This is Duolingo. Once again, a prior uptrend. You can see several times pull back to moving averages, and then getting support. This one at the 10, and then romped, you know, another 3% advance today. We'll take 3% any day. At least I will. I'm not greedy. Spotify looks a lot like Duolingo, just bouncing off the 21 here, which is a magic number. The magic 21. PTGX is the last one I'm going to look at, only because I'm pressed for time. This is it's been on our ready list, our watch list the last few weeks. And you can see the consolidation here, and it just bounced off to 21 the last couple of days. And that one still looks good to me. It's a little extended, but let's wait for it to pull back to the 10 at least. It was up 2.3% yesterday and 5.5% today, roughly. Anyway, I'll have more tomorrow morning, Friday morning. Today was June 1st, the first day of the month, and it was a good one for the bulls. We never give up.